Y'all enjoyed the last show. The last show was a special edition of our Real Talk 100 Radio Power Hour where we uplift, encourage, and empower small businesses. We had a good time with a taste of chamoy and 4 or 5 creations, y'all. It was all about the second annual Back to School Backpack Drive that'll be going on August 12th. August 12th from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. at 742 Telephone Road, y'all. Y'all, they're looking for sponsors. That's what the show was all about. If you're watching, please go back to our YouTube or our Facebook page and watch that interview in full. But right now, it's all about the R.A.U.L.I show starring In Zulu. What's going on in your?
Oh, not too much, Mark. How you doing?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Barely making it, man. I'm making it though. It's barely or whether I'm doing it and stepping in pride, I'm doing it, man. I'm making it. How about yourself?
Man, I'm doing
You
good.
good?
Same here.
Good.
At least we making it, man. At least we got to. At least we can talk about it.
At least we can talk
At
about
least
it.
we can breathe and talk.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes,
how's
sir.
everybody doing out there, man? We are on the R.A.U.L.I show. We're gonna get it popping in truth as usual. We are on the 6th show, and we're about to have some fun. There goes my lady right there. There she go with a mouthful. So tonight, y'all, what we're gonna do is talking about deliberate, abundant relationships. Deliberate, abundant relationships. Look at my son looking at the camera. Oh, look at me. Can't get enough of yourself, huh? We're gonna talk about deliberate, abundant relationships on episode 6. And I got my main thing with me. Speaking of relationships, her chin is itching. That's cool.
Oh my gosh, is he?
She watched Little Rascals too much.
Yes.
So, but before we get into the main topic, what we're gonna do is, does my head always tilt like that? Do I always do that?
No.
Oh, it's funny.
Oh, sorry.
No, you good. I was comfortable with you. Don't care.
I didn't even see your foot.
Yeah, you both wear glasses.
Oh my gosh.
So my daughter doesn't want to join us. She wants to be anti-social. Yeah. And my son has something to say. So what we're gonna do first is a recap. You just smiled. We're gonna do a recap of a few things, let you know what we got coming up, and the next show we have coming. So I did a show on improvement. What I want to start doing here is improving the show by doing little segments and, kind of going back to stay forward. You know what I'm saying? So I got an improvement tip, a self-improvement and a culture tip. Like I said, I started having notes so I don't fall off topic. So we're going real quick. The self-improvement reminder for this week's show, deliberate, abundant relationships or abundantly deliberate relationships. A real quick recap, self-improvement reminder is define success. You copying off me? Define success. And once you define your success, become that definition. And as you become that definition, then you will begin to see your success. So I think a lot of us define success by somebody else's terms. So let's just say your idea of success is swimming real fast. Go outside or go every day and take laps in the pool until you get to that speed you want. That's becoming the definition. So define your success and then become that definition and start working that on a daily basis. We spend so much time doing everything else, but improving ourselves and finding what we want to do. You might be, well, nowadays, I would say sitting back watching old westerns, but you on Instagram or you might go out to the club, you might drink, you might smoke, and you done rolled up 3 blunts and ain't worked on your goal yet. Because you haven't defined what success is to you. You might have read 100 posts and liked 100 things and commented on all these posts on, Facebook or Snapchat. Is that still a thing? Whatever. And you haven't defined success and become that definition. So define success and then become that definition and then walk into your reality. That's my self-improvement tip or reminder. I had an improvement show. You can go back and watch that if you want to. But that's my tip or reminder for today for self. And then we got the culture tip. This is for the culture. I saw a video. I don't know how many people saw it, but Ice Cube was on there. He was talking about how the Hollywood Club he's not a part of it. He's about to go on different radio stations discussing it. Look it up. Ice Cube talking about how, different kind of stuff. But even before Ice Cube, you got different so-called celebrities and influencers discussing or saying stuff that we need to do. Like, support me so I can support you. A lot of these celebrities and influencers be like, hey, page and I can show you the way. So my culture tip is stop following the celebs and the influencers and follow your soul, your spirit, and yourself. And find those people around you who want those same achievements. You see what I'm saying? So that's my culture tip of the day. Don't follow celebrities. You might see someone I'm not knocking Dr. Umar, Ice Cube, just saying you might see someone say this. Before you start believing or following what they say, like I said before, define what you believe, the culture, what you need to do, and start with yourself. So that's my culture tip for today. Improvement, define success, then become it. Stop following the celebs and the so-called celebrities and influencers, and follow what you think you need to do. Write that down and journal it and do whatever you need to do. Yeah, I know. And do it like that. Another thing for the culture, I keep saying, another thing for the culture, I keep seeing so-called police brutality. I keep seeing this story over and over and over again. Police did this, police did that, pass this law, do this law. My wife do that. It's time to start protecting our own. And before I do that, when she comes back, I'll let her tell you that. The next show, before I even go into that, this is going to go into relationships. The next show, I'm going to have some doulas on here discussing bringing life into this realm. Different ways to do that, what services we offer, what services they offer, but just some tips and stuff with your family and how you could birth your family and so on and so forth when it comes to having a child. So I'll have them on next show, creating a new portal for human life to transform it. That'll be the next show. But is she coming back?
I'm sorry, I've been distracted in yard. Sorry about that. I'm back with you though, man.
Oh, you good? You good?
Did I miss anything? Update me, man. I was distracted. I'm sorry. What's going on with the we have commenters already. Mr. Jamion Cavill, Splash Camp checking in. Splash Camp is checking in.
What's going on?
He also says, I follow God and Dr. York, my pops.
Malachi York?
Is Malachi York your pops, Jamion?
That's the Dr. York I know.
But bring me up to speed, though. What?
Oh, real quick, I had a self-improvement tip.
Self-improvement, okay.
We're going to do a recap, and all I said was define success and then become that definition.
Okay.
And like I said, if you think swimming is your idea of success is swimming real fast in the pool, go find a pool and take laps until you get up to that speed.
Gotcha.
So that's the self-improvement tip. Define what success is and then become that definition. And then the culture tip is, The culture tip is stop depending on the government. I'm sorry. I went out. I skipped out. The culture tip is stop following these celebrities and influencers.
Why?
Because all they want to do is increase their celebrity status. If you got a family, you know how it goes. My son wanted to say something, and I don't shut him up. He really shuts me up, to be honest. But I said stop following the celebs and the influencers because a lot of them are just there for views and for more fame. You know, they go on and tell you, hey, I believe in the culture, and it's easy for you with your connections. I'm not just gonna say your money, but some of your connections to go into some of these neighborhoods and be that definition, as I said before, and be that change. But instead, they want us to support their new project, like a movie or a CD, a movie or a CD or something like that. And then social influencers, they want you to like what they're saying, support their products. They like this, and they'll make a shirt saying black everything. It's like, all right, I got your shirt, but where's the change at? Right. You know, we still need education, we still need jobs, we still need some type of governing amongst ourselves. So now, unless a celebrity is really out here doing something, I'm not saying don't support it if their job happens to be a celebrity. But if you happen to be a celebrity and now you're talking about social change, when you have the connections and the money to do it, but you just want us to follow you for whatever reason,
Right.
we need to stop doing that. That gets us nowhere.
Gets us nowhere.
Yeah, I can buy old school Ice Cube CDs all day. You know, Bambaataa, who else was there? Kane was saying some stuff. Rakim used to say stuff. Their presidents. I mean, the list goes on. So we need to stop following them as much. I ain't saying don't go buy their music. I'm just saying if they tell us to do something, we don't need to follow it because they said it. They're in a different structure than we're at.
Right. We can't do what they're doing.
Yeah, they have a different purpose than we have. We over here working 9 to 5 trying to survive, and I'm not saying that they don't have issues in their life. What I'm saying, I'm saying it for a different reason than I would be saying. So self-improvement, but don't follow the celebrities and the influencers. I said instead follow yourself, follow your soul, follow your spirit. So if you have it on your mind that you want to create some type of social change, then find a way to do it. See what I'm saying? So that's the culture tip. And then find people around you who want the same achievement. You know, find people like, hey man, I'm tired of this also. I'm like, all right, let's sit down, let's talk, let's put a plan together, and let's do it. There's no need for nobody else to be involved in that. You know what I'm saying? So those are the two things I said. Also, I skipped one thing. Recap on Xing out the industry. My reminder for Xing out the industry, for what we should X out, is the government. That's going to lead into the police. So we should X out the government, y'all. They got all these laws. I'm hearing people say they're allowing fake meat to be in the stores, which, you know, that's been going on for a while. But more importantly, we're getting locked up and killed, and the law is not doing anything about it. That should be your sign that we might want to move away from that. You know, we can get pulled over and go to jail for not paying a speeding ticket. But you got a pedophile out here who can go get a little kid. You got a rapist out here who can go rape a man, a woman, or a child. You know what I'm saying? You got thieves out here that's robbing people. But you're spending 30 minutes with me, pulling me over, checking if I don't have some type of ID. That you don't care about my identification in the first place. You know, you're telling me to follow you. Where's your mama? Yeah. And especially for the kids. If we continue, I feel like if the old school cats would have fought against the police, put a system in place to where we policed ourselves, there wouldn't be so many of us locked up. They always say, oh, well, we didn't have any daddies in the house. the moms was on drugs or the moms weren't there. We didn't. I feel like if we would have policed ourselves, we wouldn't have needed the police to come in and arrest us.
Right.
Like you can be put in jail over drugs, but they're never gonna arrest the people who gave you the drugs.
No, sir.
Like Pookie and Daquan and them, where did they get the drugs from to sell?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't just get drugs and they didn't just get drugs from themselves and decide to sell them. They had to get them from somewhere. And most likely they got it from somebody who got it imported in from somebody else. So we got to focus on that. We got to focus on policing ourselves, creating our own laws, and not be so quick to let them govern us. Because just as much as they give us, they can take away. They can take away welfare and food stamps whenever they want to. They can take away your rights just as fast as they can give them to you. So that's what we should X out, the government. Now, I'm not saying go fight them and kill them and all that. I'm just saying simply separate, segregate. You know what I'm saying? So that's the exit out industry reminder. That's our culture tip reminder. And that's the improvement tip reminder. Define success and be that definition. Stop following celebs and influencers and X out the government. And the solution to all those is for define success is become that definition. Instead of following celebs and influencers, follow yourself and find other people who want to follow that same path you're on. And instead of depending on the government, create your own governing body. You know what I'm saying? Start with giving laws to yourself and guidelines and all that to yourself. And then also protecting our own. It says on the car when you see a police force, law enforcement. It doesn't say protector of lives. It doesn't say none of that. It says law enforcement, which means they're just there to enforce the law. They're not there to help us do anything. So if we're tired of it, we got to get rid of it. If you got a woman in your life that is giving you hell and it's not helping you succeed or progress, instead of staying with that woman and or man, for the ladies, you got a man in your life who ain't doing nothing but just using you, the best way to solve that problem is to get rid of it. Excuse yourself from that situation. So that's what we should do with the governing people and the police, man. If somebody's selling crack to somebody on our streets, then we need to go have a sit down with that guy and say, hey, man, you're not allowed to do this anymore. Or whatever he's doing, robbing people, we need to go get them. So those are my 3 things from the recap. I had shows on self-improvement, exiting out the industry. And like I said, the next show was going to be my wife, and she's going to have some doulas discussing bringing kids into this atmosphere, into this realm, and different ways you can do it, different ways the mommies and the fathers can prepare and lead into being that if you're a first time, second time, or third time father or mother, and ways to improve that. And I'm also going to go into ways to improve that tonight, discussing deliberate, abundant relationships as I go into the topic tonight. So, we're going to start this off right. Mama. Goes all the way. So, what's a relationship? We're going to start it off like that. What's a relationship? A relationship, this woman next to me. This is an intimate relationship with what her and I have. Yes. And then this is what I call a parental I'm going to go with parental relationship. That's where, come here, boy. This is where I just love him because I love him. It's because he's my child. That's it. I don't want nothing from him ever. Even if he becomes a billionaire and I'm still working at McDonald's. Keep your money, which is not going to happen. But I'm just saying. I know I don't work at McDonald's. Just for an example. Yeah. With your kids, you just love them because you love them. He's talking over here. This is my wife. I kick her out, you know. But with your significant other, hold on.
So your question right now is, what is a relationship, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
You got different kinds of relationships. You got intimate relationships. Malcolm and I, even though we're growing our friendship, we got a business relationship where I'm on his radio station, he lets me talk, and he's giving me a service, and I'm giving him something for his service. So he has all this stuff up here, so I can get on here and talk to you guys. So that's a business relationship. Intimate relationship, and although this is a loving relationship all around, everybody has love for everybody. We created this child. We brought this seed to life. So this is like a parental relationship. So I want to talk about how we need to start off the relationship. Before we can get to him, I'm gonna go back real quick. To lead into this. You're a doula. You do postpartum, right? And you've done prepartum too. That was
Before the labor, yeah.
before the labor. What do you do with your clients before the baby comes? Give just maybe one or two things you did with your clients as to help them prepare.
Aside from establishing a relationship between them and myself, providing them with the tools to be able to connect to their baby.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the things that I would suggest is meditation, visualization. More specifically, like, how do you feel when you're meditating, when you're in a, being a present state? What do you feel when the baby's kicking? Well, different stuff like that. And so, one of the things I do.
So you also help them prep, tell them what they need before the baby comes,
Mm-hmm.
and you talk with the wife and the husband, the mother and the father, right?
Mm-hmm.
Seeing if they're on the same page. I know you have one where you help the mother and the daughter kind of reconcile.
Oh yeah, my client and her mother. Yeah.
So you establish a relationship with them first to see if
we're compatible.
Yeah.
If it's a vibe, if it's if it's a fitting relationship.
How do you do that?
I call it the vibing session,
Uh-huh.
where I ask them questions, and then while I'm asking them questions, just feel my energy out.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like, based off of the way I'm answering the questions, the way that I'm asking the questions that I'm asking you, if it's if we could go somewhere, if this could be something that potentially where we're working together.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much that's the beginning stages of it, our vibing session. And off of that session, they're able to distinguish if they want to work with me or not.
So,
and if I want to work with him. It's a two-way street. It's a two-way street.
So you want to make sure that both of y'all can work with each other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So that's kind of what I'm leading into. I heard it go up.
No, I liked it.
Okay. Oh, you did? Okay. She said, well, she's making sure that they vibe with each other. So I think you should have that in every relationship. When I first met Malcolm, I know you can remember this. Before I came on your show and said, hey, I want to work with y'all, you showed me around tell them what you did with me.
I gave you a mini tour. I gave you a tour of the studio and the office and the other suites. And I explained what we did in each section. We provide several different services here, so I wanted you to know what we did here. I wanted you to meet who I work with. I think that's all I did. So I wanted you to feel comfortable in your surroundings. I wanted you to know who was going to be around you and your children. I wanted to know who you were going to be working with.
Exactly. I think I think what we need to do is do this in every relationship. When we have these relationships, we gotta communicate. So let's start off with intimate relationships. Male and female, female and male, lovers, people that we meet vicariously. Uh, I appreciate that, brother Dion. That's his little brother.
Brother
Dion.
Dion has his own radio show at Texas 101 Jams. He's
I
very
remember.
supportive.
Yeah, I always see him in the comments on other shows too.
Yes, sir.
It's 102 Jams, right?
No, Texas 101
Texas
Jams.
101 Jams. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I believe when you meet someone, and this really goes across the board, but I'm going to stick with intimate relationships and business relationships. You got to have that vibe session that she just talked about. You got to vibe with each other. Because if I didn't vibe with Malcolm, I wouldn't be able to sit here and do this show. You know, I wouldn't have been able to show up to this station every day and comfortably. Like he said, he made sure I was comfortable with everybody, you know, or with the setup that they had. And even now, after the show or during the week, if we chopping it up, he'll be like, hey, man, is there anything you think we should change? Is there something that you think we should improve? And I think that strengthens a relationship. So I'm going to give some relationship advice real quick. If you're in an intimate relationship, if you're in a business relationship, or whatever, you got to have that vibe session. And you also, matter of fact, you did tell me about the businesses you want to do. So you also got to know, where are we going with this relationship? What's the meaning of this relationship? Why should I be around? Why should I give you my energy? Why should I give you my energy? If there's no viable reason or a good reason or abundant reason for me to give you my energy, maybe we shouldn't be in this relationship. Before you even go on a job, they interview you. And most of us should interview the job too. I do that any job I go to. Oh, what you want to say?
With a part of that vibe session, I feel like there's also like a instinctual thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just kind of get a feel of like, you know, in that vibing session, if this is going to be a fit or not. Like when I met you, someone was like, oh yeah, that's going to be your husband. And I was like, that is. And of course our situation, you know, we eventually got there.
Hotel. Oh
my gosh.
I thought you were talking about something else.
But it was something about hanging around you and, you know, hearing those little, I won't say little voices.
Yeah.
Higher self, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
You know, just like you when we met, you was saying that something was telling you that, you know, you was gonna
be around for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You was gonna meet someone, you know, someone's of significance, you know, in your life.
That's true. That's true.
And so I think that's another thing that comes into play. When I meet my clients, it's a make right, you know.
Yeah.
Or okay.
Yeah.
We like her. Keep her around.
Yeah.
You know, type of thing. So I think that's another thing that, you know,
I agree with
also
that.
plays into
Understanding and respect is the key. Also communication. And I think that's exactly what you said. You got to have an understanding why I'm here, and then you got to respect why I'm here. So we both knew we wanted each other in and out the hotel room. We both knew we wanted each other.
We're not talking about that.
Oh.
We're not going to talk about that.
I was trying to be open. But we both know we wanted each other.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But then after we knew we wanted each other and we were attracted to each other, we had to respect each other's values.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I told Malcolm what the show was about straight up when I first met him. And I told you, or more like you saw, what I was about when you first met me.
Yeah, no, that communication. You told
Yeah.
me because not everything, I wasn't able to see everything.
Yeah.
You know, when we first started, you know, when we were friends, when we were working together and we first met each other. And neither, I'm pretty sure the same thing with you. Like you didn't know upfront what was going on. But like I think we having those conversations, communicating with each other, like, listen, all right, this was going on over here on my neck of the woods. And respecting, okay, I don't really like the mosquitoes in your woods, sir. But
Yeah.
I'll just come with repellent and we'll just work it out. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, communicating and respecting, you know. Otherwise you was coming at me.
Yeah, I think we gotta have that, whatever. I'm talking to mainly, I'm gonna direct this is for everything. You can apply this to life and your relationship with yourself. But I'm talking to, I think in the brown community, we gotta build stronger relationships. We gotta build stronger relationships. In order for cultures to work with each other, there has to be a respect and an understanding. And before cultures can work with each other, in order for people in the culture, for us to be strong and us to get to that point where we're policing ourselves, we gotta have that understanding and that respect and that vibe. I think a lot of us get into relationships based strictly on sex, money, classism. Yeah, a lot of brothers nowadays, and I hear this a lot more now. I'm gonna give me a woman with good credit. Vice versa for the women. The women be like, I need to give me a brother with good credit.
Not good credit. I've heard he got to be making X amount of racks. Like, man, but you don't even make that.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's what I'm expecting from my man.
Exactly. And vice versa for the men. The men be like, I need to give him one of the women that work on Wall Street. But you can't spell Wall Street. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know where Wall Street's at.
So you're saying expectations are too high in relationships?
I don't think we know the definition of expectation for them to be high or low. I think we have a malarial. Oh, I said malarial. It is kind of malarial. It's a disease of expectation. But like I did that, I messed up the word and changed it into malaria. Malaria. Anyway, what is this? Is that art? Thank you so much. I think that we don't know what kind of expectations. I think they're materialistic. I think that they're commercial expectations. So I'm not saying for everybody, but for a lot of people, I think the expectations derive from trauma and derive from the class that you're in. So if you're poor, you want a rich guy. If you're rich, you want someone so-called on your level of money because you dated a few people who didn't have money and you felt like you were splitting the bill. So I also think that we watch movies, and after we watch that movie, we're like, oh, I want what that character has. So now my expectations are built off a movie character or a premise or a script. Mo City, that's who he was interviewing the other day. He can understand that.
Filmmaker, movie maker,
Yeah.
Mo McCoy.
Yeah, Mo McCoy. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
So he writes a script, and we watching the movie. At the premiere, I believe he said it was about three brothers whose father, and he was trying to give them some knowledge before they passed on. And let's just say one of the brothers got a woman in there that they're trying to get or whatever. Okay, she's coming back. We base it off a script instead of looking inside of ourselves, seeing what we want. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, or I'm going to give you this right here. You got a partner or a friend. I'm going to use myself for example. I had a lot of partners, not a lot. I had a couple partners that was in the streets of school, right? And they just seemed to get all the women. You know what I'm saying? They just seemed to be like, oh man, yeah, I got her. And they would have all these women that look nice. So I would try and be street to get the women. It didn't fit me too good because I wasn't willing to go all the way. But I was still trying to adapt that in order to get women. Instead of stay true to myself, I had a woman tell me, man, you used to be funny. Now you're trying to, she said I was acting weird. You know what I'm saying? So, and matter of fact, that happened a lot through the mid-90s on up. You know, we used to have Father MC and Rakim who would respect the women. And then all of a sudden we get a lot of these rappers who's like F this B, you know, only, what do we got now? The bad chick, independent. Hey, beautiful girl. The family coming in today. You say, a lot of people that need to hear this. Yeah, man, let them know.
I will be here all lick locks.
Sit down. So, and it's really about them. We got to teach this generation, my daughter right here, so she don't grow up thinking that she needs this certain type of guy. But as I was saying, our expectations are elementary. We don't even know what we need. You know what I'm saying? So we think the girl, and not just material, it's physical expectations. Oh, this girl got a big booty, so that's the woman of my dreams. It's like, so her derriere is the only reason you're in this situation, or her breasts are the only reason you're in this situation, or her pretty face is the only reason you're in this situation.
I got to get in on that one.
Talk to me.
I have women. They haven't bothered me here lately, but I know they thinking it.
Yeah.
And I it's an inside joke between me and Lisa that she doesn't have a large backside.
Yeah.
And she's white, so that's two knocks against her. But I have women in my inbox. I have women that just talk to them in general. She ain't even got no ass. Why you with her? And I'm like, you think I'm with a woman because she got an ass or she don't? It's deeper than that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are so shallow, man. So I just wanted to interject that. That's crazy how people think.
Yeah.
Your value is based on how big your butt is.
And that's sad. And that's why I say it's elementary. You used to look at that when you went to the Capitol.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or whatever you went to. Freak Day. I never went to Freak Day. I seen anyway. It's a whole other story. But when you were young and elementary and you looking at, oh, look at that. But as you become a man and you get a mustache, just because this woman got a big derriere, it don't mean she gonna help you if you have a stroke. Just because she got a pretty face, don't mean she gonna be there for you when you don't got a lot of money, or when you're trying to start up something you believe in. My radio show ain't huge right now. It's not big right now. I don't got 2 million people listening to me. I'm not Tom Joyner. But she coming in here like she's on Ricky Smiley's morning show. You know what I'm saying? So the inside of a woman counts. Your wife, Real Talk Radio is big, but it might not be as big as 97.9, and she still got your back. So I think our expectation is, number one, to expect more of ourselves. And like Brother Dion said earlier, to respect. You got to respect and understand yourself. And I think that's missing also. Before we hop into relationships, man, or before we hop into a relationship, we don't have no respect for ourselves. We don't even know who we are. I've gotten with women, and I'm not just talking to everybody else, I'm using myself, for example. Before I met her, I'm talking to women because I'm down in the dumps. I'm like, man, whatever. And when you in the gutter, you're going to mess with rats. Hood rats, rich rats, mediocre rats, all of them are rats. You're going to just mess with nothing but rats. So, or insect or vermin or whatever's in the gutter, that's what you're going to mess with. So, I think you got to first know yourself. You got to know yourself, and once you know yourself, you got to love yourself. Because you're not going to love anybody else or anything else before you love yourself.
No, sir.
Matter of fact,
repeat that for me, man. You're not gonna what?
You're not gonna love anybody else before you love yourself and who you are. You can't. There's no way you can love yourself. There's no way you can love somebody else without first loving yourself and knowing yourself. I tell this to my girl all the time, and I had to tell this to myself, man. I wanted a radio station. I always wanted one. Back in the day, it wasn't as easy or accessible as it is now. Or I wanted to do music, but I did a song, and the A&R told me, "Oh, you got to make your song more street." I had a line there saying, this is back in the day too. I said, "F. Bush and his whole bloodline is man making money while America is crying." That's just one line from it. I wasn't a big fan of Bush. And this guy had the nerve to tell me, "Oh, you got to make your music more street, man. You got to make it for the streets." I said, "How much more street can I get?" I just said F the president at that time. Now, other brothers out here saying F each other, but if I say F the president, but at that time I didn't know that. I'm like, maybe I do need to make it more street. But I didn't know myself, and I didn't realize the message I was trying to push. You see what I'm saying? So if you don't know yourself, everybody's going to take advantage of it. So you're going to get what a woman's going to take advantage of. And actually, that's one of the questions. I have a list of questions before you get into a relationship that you should ask. And I'll go over those in a minute. But one of the questions was, what are your insecurities? I think when you meet that person you dating, first off, you need to establish, hey, what are you in this for? Are you in this just for the sex? Are you trying to build and grow with me? Are you trying to use me for a connection that I have? So on and so forth. Those questions need to be asked first. If you ask the person that question and they can't honestly give you an answer, I doubt you're going to have an honest relationship. So before you hop into your relationship, these are what your dates should be about. When you go on a date, when I went out with her, we used to sit on the stairs talking to each other. Because number one, I got to a point in my life where I'm not spending no money on you if we're not in this for real. I'm not going to spend no money on you just to get something. I stopped doing that in middle school. You know what I'm saying? Middle school, high school. I stopped doing that 8th, 9th grade. I'm not going to go out, get no money, so I can take you out just so you can have a nice time. Now I ain't got no money. Now I'm broke. Now I'm trying to find something to eat. But you had a nice time just because you do. That's out the question. And a woman on the other side of that ain't going to let you do that. A woman ain't going to be like, yeah, take me out. She's going to be like, what we going out for? I had a chick, I can't remember her name. It was her name was Jennifer. Oh, I do remember her name. I can't remember her last name. It was Jennifer. I mean, she had a nice body. And I asked her, man, you wanna date? She said, why you wanna date me? I was stumped. I'm like, cause you fine? That's it? I was like, oh, snap. Low key, she just saved me. Because she could have been the wrong one, she could have been the right one. So I was so interested in getting her panties. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't focus on nothing else. But anyway, ask these questions, man. Ask these questions before you even enter any crevices of each other's body. So when you ask that woman out on a date, don't go to a movie. Don't go to a bar. You don't want to meet somebody drunk. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to see him drunk first or high first. You don't want to do that. Go out sober. My best date is go take a walk in the park. Go sit in the car and chill. I can't lie. I used to roll one up and sit there with the lady, but I would just be chopping it up with her. That's just what I did at the time. I get my little backwoods. I already have it rolled up. Sit down. Let's chop it up. But get with them and let them know you. You shouldn't even be going out. Now, if y'all get hungry, like I say, if I'm hungry and I want someone to eat with, I'm going to invite you out. But let her know, hey, man, I'm just taking you out because really, I like your vibe. I'm feeling what we're talking about, so let's go get something to eat. And then that should be the first time y'all spend money on each other. You see what I'm saying? And that's why you should spend money, because you like being around that person. My partners, I'll spend money on them because I like being around them. You know what I'm saying? I don't even care if they got money. Hey, man, let's just go out. I just want to chill with you. I just want to catch up. I just want to know what you're doing. So that should be the same way when you get with a female. You know what I'm saying? Or a male. Ladies, same way. Ladies, there's nothing wrong with taking out a man to eat. We got to drop these egos. We'll get into that real quick. We got to drop these egos. We got to stop following what's been told to us. Oh, the man's supposed to take you out. Says who? Like literally, who said the man's supposed to take you out? I would agree more with the man's supposed to protect you because the man is physically stronger in a lot of aspects. Now, a lot of aspects. Now, I can't push no baby outside of myself. So that's why I said a lot of aspects, we physically stronger. But in some aspects, you guys are physically stronger. Because if we had to have babies, there'd be a lot less kids on this earth. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we got to drop the ego. We got to stop sitting over here saying, "Oh man, well, you got to take me out," or "You should ask me out first," or "Why you didn't ask me out?" Like, no, we got to stop that, man. We got to cut that out. We got to cut that out. If you feeling someone, male or female, go deliberately ask them, "Hey, I like you. Do you want to sit down and talk? Do you want to chop it up?" So on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So we got to get rid of those egos. Once you get rid of your personal ego and you love yourself for who you are, then open up to that person. That's when you start going on dates and you start asking questions. Okay, the questions we should ask. I'm gonna give everybody some questions you should ask on a date. And I don't even want to call them date meetings. This is where you meetings. These are growth meetings. What are your future plans? What do you got planned in the future for yourself? I don't care how old you are. What do you have planned? What is something that you're trying to accomplish? What's a goal that you have, and what are you doing to accomplish that goal? You know what I'm saying? These are questions you should ask. Then you get to know that person. Like, so when I told my wife, "Hey man, I really want to be in the community to change it. I want to be that Malcolm X, MLK type guy. Like, I don't want to be famous. I just want to be that person who helped bring that change within our culture, right?" So when you meet somebody, ask them that, "Hey man, what are your future plans?" Then ask them, "What do you think?" If you're a cultural person like me, be like, "Hey man, how do you feel about the state of our culture? How do you think our culture could be improved?" You know what I'm saying? Or what are some things about the culture that you like? What do you call yourself? Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should ask yourself, if culture isn't a thing to you and you're more into like feelings or whatever, say, how do you feel if I was to, how you doing, Mr. Erica, how you doing? When you get into a relationship, and let's just say you're not big on culture, ask that man or woman, how would you handle my anger? I can get real snappy. I can get real moody. How would you handle my moods? If I don't feel like talking to you, are you going to stop talking to me? I don't have a lot of money in my bank account. Does that matter to you? Stuff like that. Like, these are questions you should ask before you even talk about sex. You should ask these questions. You should ask all this stuff over and over again too,
to make sure they're consistent with their answer.
Exactly. It's okay to change it up, because you know what? Having a conversation with somebody might make you think twice about your answer. Like, dang, maybe I shouldn't do that. Or I didn't even realize I did that. You see what I'm saying? But you should ask all these questions before you call yourself girl. And really, if you in contact with somebody that you met like at the job and think they're real cool, but like, hey man, shoot, if I ain't had no money, would you still chill with me? Or if I didn't have this car, would you still be chilling with me? Better yet, tell them you lost your car and see if they pick you up. I'm not saying play games with people, just see where their head is at. And if they pick you up, and if they genuinely can't pick you up, I'm not saying hold it against them. Like, dang, I'll come get you, but it's going to have to be in an hour or so. Man, one of my best friends, go ahead.
I just want to make sure, Erica, if you're still there, we want to make sure you understand what's being discussed tonight. What's being discussed tonight is deliberate relationships, having deliberate relationships. I know I'm leaving something out.
Deliberate, abundant relationships.
It's all about having deliberate and abundant relationships. He's talking about being deliberate in your relationships right now. How can you be deliberate in your relationships? By asking the right questions.
Yeah.
Before you start dating, before you become intimate. That is what we're talking about tonight. If you have someone else in relationships that you want to hear this information tonight, please tag them. in the comments. Please share the video all over the world. This is the R.A.U.L.I Show. It's spelled R.A.U.L.I on Instagram. Go and follow the R.A.U.L.I Show. This is Inyar Zulu and his family. This is a family-oriented show, and they're all about family. They're all about relationships. They're all about living natural, living healthy. Go ahead, Inyar.
Exactly. And since you say rely, what does this have to do with rebooting and uniting lost energies? You got to find that energy in yourself that's honest and genuine. And like her, she can bring stuff out of me that I didn't bring out myself. So, and in order to reboot yourself, sometimes you got to have a power source. So when you get with that other part of yourself, that person that you decide you might want to date, while you're asking them questions, you need to be asking yourself the same question. Would I be able to handle me when I get mad? Am I just going to give up if I get mad because something's not going my way? So on and so forth. Am I honest with myself? You know what I'm saying? Would I still believe in me even though I don't have money and I don't have the connections or I'm not in a place of power or whatever? You see what I'm saying? So as you're asking that person that question, ask yourself these questions. And also be prepared to answer the questions because the person is interested in you. They need to ask you these questions back. You see what I'm saying? So in order to reboot this culture and unite this culture, in order to unite and reboot with anybody, you got to know what you're dealing with. You got to know who you're dealing with, the core of it. If you get sick and you need some vitamin C, you're going to go find a fruit or a vegetable that contains that certain vitamin that you need. So, for instance, vitamin C off the top of my head, orange, I believe. You're going to go find that orange and you're going to eat that orange knowing that you're going to get that vitamin C that'll give you that vitamin that you need maybe to keep your immune system up. You see what I'm saying? So, same with that relationship. If you're looking for someone to build with, ask questions that will let you know if they're ready to help you build. If they got the tools to help you build. And if they don't have the tools to help you build, you okay, son? Yeah, okay. If he don't have the tools to help, I wouldn't be with her if she wasn't going to be the mother I needed her to be to my kids. I told her what I was going to do. I said, man, we're not going to be at the church all the time. I'm not going to have them in school. I'm not going to be spanking them. I'm not going to be yelling at them. I told you all this before we had the kids. She knew this.
But it was a mutual thing. I think that's another thing. We knew we
Yeah.
had
We had an understanding, like Dion said earlier.
I'd like to get in right now. If I'm interrupting too much,
No, go ahead.
let me know. But the dating pool is so screwed up now. They don't want you asking those questions. So if you yes, pee in the pool. So what is your advice to people who are going to follow your advice today, and they sit across from somebody and somebody attacks them for asking these kinds of questions? You're telling me to go on a date with somebody and ask them, are you gonna? You're asking me all these questions, like you said. Can you handle my anger? Are you gonna support me? If can you handle my anger? What are your questions? How would you handle my anger? How would you? I lost all of the questions. What are your future plans? You're asking them to interrogate somebody.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah.
What do you say? What is your advice to those who are going to question you and say, I just met this person. You want me to ask you? I'm going to run them off if I ask them all these questions. Or they might run me off if they ask me all these questions. What's your advice?
I say if you're in the dating pool and that's happening, first off, get out the pool because pee in the pool is nasty. You know what I'm saying?
No, for real.
And if somebody don't want to answer your questions,
They're not
for you. And that's why I say you got to know yourself, man. You got to be strong enough to be like, hey, man, I'm sorry if I'm pissing you off. I'm sorry if you're taking it as an interrogation. But I need to know this before I integrate you in my life. You see what I'm saying?
Another question. I see what you're saying, but explain to our listening audience why it's important to ask these questions. I already know. You already know. Your wife already knows. But make sure you break it down for me.
You got to ask these questions so you keep yourself safe and you don't waste your time. You could be sitting over here with a person, a woman or a man, for 4 years, and it turns up they was hiding habits from you. It turns up you become more successful to them and they get jealous. And they're like, yo, I don't want you going to work no more. You're like, wow, this is for, in your head, it's like, this is for both of us. If I make it, you make it. But since you're so jealous and you didn't take time to answer these questions and acquiesce their intentions, you didn't wasted your time with someone who doesn't appreciate for you who you are. So if you would have asked these questions first, you would have known, oh, I can see you got a little jealousy in your heart. So once you figure out that they're jealous, then you got to ask them, hey, are you open to change? Are you open to changing some ways about yourself? And if you're like, man, change what? Like, you got to understand, people, when she met me, I'm not a big holding hands type person. I'm doing this right here. All right, all right, all right.
And that was very.
You know what I'm saying? But she needed that attention. She needed me to hold her hand, rub her head like this. So, rub her head, so on and so forth. And I had to learn how to do that. So I told her, I said, look, it might not happen overnight, but what I'm going to do is slowly start integrating your needs into my life. But if she didn't tell me that, I would have never known, and we were just sitting around. I've been looking at her hand like, why are you touching it? It's hot. You know what I'm saying? So ask these questions. Ask and answer. And if someone does not like your line of questioning, they need to get out your line of life. You don't need to create a lineage with them at all. You know what I'm saying? And you should do that. You should eliminate, when you go buy a car, what's it called? What report?
It's called
Carfax, yeah.
It's called a credit report.
Yeah, but where they tell you how many accidents have been on it.
Yeah, Carfax.
Yeah, Carfax. So before you go get a car, you got to figure out what's wrong with this car, especially if it's a used car. How many accidents has it been in? There's something need to be done to it. Like if you buy something on Facebook or Craigslist or whatever, you say, hey man, what's wrong with the car? And the person, if they're honest, is gonna tell you, well, this is wrong, or this is wrong, or this is wrong. It should be the same way in a relationship. Hey, if you get with me, I do this, this, and this. This is the good I do, this is the bad I do, and this is the neutral I do. You see what I'm saying? If you get that stuff first, if you get the car fact or if you get the personal facts first, you're gonna save yourself a lot of time and a lot of energy, a lot of heartache, a lot of pain, so on and so forth.
Yes, sir.
So that's why you gotta get that out the way at the beginning. You can't wait till I wouldn't even wait till you're 2 months in. Get that at the beginning. Hey man, I noticed when I met you, you did this. Okay, for me, I used to smoke a lot. Before I went to work, I had 4 rolled up. One on the way to work, maybe half one, some on my break, and then some when I'm going to the house. And she would ask, well, do you plan on ever stop smoking?
That was your wife?
Yeah. Do you always smoke like this? Are you ever going to stop? Blah, 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 blah.
She was asking questions.
Yeah. Like, dang, and then she asked, why do you smoke this much? Why? Shit. Everybody smokes. That's the answer. No, everybody doesn't smoke. So in asking that question, you also help them find themselves. And any person, like you said, go answer your question. Why do you ask these questions? 1, you eliminate people who you don't need in your life. 2, you could potentially be helping somebody find themselves. I had to really start thinking about, dang, why do I smoke so much? Am I running from something? Am I hiding something? Am I not handling something in my life? Am I pushing something to the side? And every time I hit this, I'm feeling better, like it doesn't exist, but it's still there. I had a woman I talked to one time who was a drunk. She drank a lot, and I was younger. I'm thinking it's cool. Yeah, we go to the bar, we could drink together. Somebody that could drink with me. Then I had to ask her, yo, why do you drink so damn much? Like, what's popping? Do you have to be drunk to be with me?
Right.
So,
when me and Lisa first got together, I'm a guy that I like a drink, but she's only seen me in 10 years. She's only seen me drunk maybe 3 times in 10 years.
huh,
We were celebrating something. I just wanted to get it off,
yeah,
But when we first got together, she knows better now. But when we first got together, she thought I was a drunk.
huh,
Because like after a stressful day, most days as a small business owner are stressful.
yeah,
So every day I'm gonna get me about 2 or 3 fingers
yeah,
and sip and sip. And she was like similar to your wife.
yeah,
Do you have to smoke every day? Do you have to drink every day? And
yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm not a drunk. I'm not alcoholic. Have you seen me drunk yet? No. Okay. I'm just maintaining. This is a maintenance drink.
Yeah,
So yeah, I had that same issue. So the asking questions
yeah,
kind of happened in our relationship. We didn't go as deep as you're saying,
yeah,
but we should have. We're kind of adjusting on the fly in
yeah,
our personal relationship, but we should have asked those questions because I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna give you the microphone
Yeah.
back. We should have discussed everything at first because here in the last 3 years, we've been together 10.
yeah,
Here in the last 3 years, I got in trouble 2 or 3 times because I said, I said something to the nature of, I'm with you because you're business oriented, you're business minded, and it's in the middle of a fight, it's heated, so she'll be
Yeah.
like, oh, so that's why you're with me, and I'm like, I didn't say nothing wrong. I'm being smart. That's what you're supposed to do when
yeah,
you get in a relationship. You weigh the pros and the cons.
exactly.
Do I want a hood rat or do I want a business minded woman?
Yeah,
Do I want a drama queen
Hmm.
or do I want a woman who's about her business? The scale weighed to your side because you thought more like I did.
yeah,
So I'm saying all this to say, just trying to help the listening audience understand what this conversation is about. When you get in these relationships, in the dating pool, like they say, is full of pee these days.
yeah,
When you get into these dating pools these days, ask these questions that Enya are saying tonight because it can save you from what, Enya?
it can save you from wasting time, energy, money, save you from heartache, pain, so on and so forth. It can save you so much things.
Gotcha.
You might be able to, if you figure out you with someone who's, and I'm not saying just because everybody has qualities that might not be the best. Somebody might be lazy. Somebody might procrastinate. Somebody might have fear. Some people might be scared to do things. So you got to take the good with the bad. What you got to decide is it worth it? Is it worth me saying, all right, they're a little lazy? Could I help them not be as lazy? Sometimes that has to do with confidence. I'm like, man, I ain't doing this today, man. I got all day to do it. But really, it's like they're scared to go out and do it. So yeah, you got to take the good with the bad. Like you say, if someone's refusing to answer your questions, refuse to give them your time. Point blank, period. Refuse to give them your time. And just to recap right quick on what I said, relationships. I'm talking about intimate relationships, somebody you want to be with, when you're testing your suitors. First off, that can save mileage on your body. You might sit over here and have a great night sexually with this person, but they don't plan on being in your atmosphere any longer than sex. So if I go up to this woman and be like, man, I'll be honest with you, you got a nice body, and all I want to do is blow your back out. You know what I'm saying? That's really mainly what I want to do is just blow your back out. Then guess what? Now she knows, oh, he just want to blow my back out. So she's either like, okay, I'm feeling the same way. So you can blow my back out, but that's all we're going to be. even then I would still be like, so what are your plans after you blow my back out? What if we end up being cool? You know, what if you like something about me? You willing to take it further? You see what I'm saying? That leads into more conversation. So you got to have these questions. So just to recap real quick, before you get into a relationship, have a mission. Communicate. Like Brother Garcia said over there, respect and understanding. Respect that person. See if you can respect that person and understand what you're respecting. So I'm gonna switch his words around. Maybe he said it the way that first time, but understand and then respect that person. And understand yourself. This person might want to do something for the community because nobody helped him in his community. This girl might want to build a business because everybody in her family is broke and she don't want to be that way. So that's what drives her, or that's what drives him. So like you said earlier, she's business oriented, so she possessed maybe something that you didn't. So that's why you wanted to get with her. Like, man, I like your business mind. I can learn from you. I can be around you. That turns me on. Do that before we get into relationships. Before. I'm gonna be super ignorant with this. The letter B and the number 4. Before you get in relationships, ask these questions. If the person does not want to answer your questions or feels like you're interrogating them, refuse to integrate them into your life. Refuse it. Be like, all right, I can see you not liking this and you not feeling this, so I'm going to remove myself from this situation. You don't got to be crazy about like, hey man, I don't think it's going to work, so let's go ahead and cut this off. So that way it ain't no, because you know once you have sex, everything else opens up. Like, well, you just going to do me and leave? You could get pregnant, you know, whatever. But answer these questions before, man. I would even ask them on a sexual way, what positions do you like? What type of sex do you like to have? Are you a freak?
On the first date in your
On the first date.
You gonna ask them that on the first date?
Man, if you spend 5 hours together and after you find out where their head is at, ask them, liven the conversation up a little bit. Because 98% of the time, once someone turns you on mentally, you're thinking about them naked.
Right.
You're like, man, I wonder what's under that shirt. Or, you know, I wonder if she knows how to ride a dick. Excuse my language, but I wonder if she knows how to ride. I wonder if she like, you know, back shot, blah, 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 blah. Ask these questions. Women and men.
Women and men who are tuned in, whether you're tuned in on our link or whether you're tuned in on our live feeds on YouTube and Facebook. If you're a man or a woman, this is to you. If someone asked you on the first date, what is your favorite position? How would you react?
Think about it. What would you say? Oh, man. Oh. Because we like, look, I know me, the first time I did it, I was hyping myself up. And the girl was way more experienced than me. She's like, so you ever had sex before? I'm like, girl, I'm going to lay this thing on you. So I'm copping off the mat and stuff, you know, trying to make it sound real. Girl, you ain't ready for this. And she looked at me like, okay, yeah, right. She said, you don't have to do that. I said, girl, I ain't lying to you, blah, 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 blah. Me doing that let her know I was a rookie in the game. I ain't even been in the game yet. I haven't even been in summer league. You know what I'm saying? So learn what type of freak are you? What kind of freaky stuff you like? You know, you like going down on men, you like going down on women, blah, blah, blah.
You do. That is important.
Yeah.
Because I've heard people in relationships that have been in relationships for 5, 10 years, in some cases 20, and they still fighting 10, 20 years later. You don't even go down low. You don't even, you know, and you wondering why I'm looking at other people. And I'm like, man, you didn't know that before y'all got together? You're supposed to ask these kinds of questions. Man.
Exactly.
Yeah. I agree with you.
You should know that. Hey man, you tell them, hey man, I like when you go down on me. Some men like it, some men don't. Some women like it, some women don't. And then once again, ask that same thing. Are you open to it? You won't believe what women and men are open to once you get into a trusting atmosphere. Well, I would, but you know, some women don't like when I go down low. You know, or I got this little freaky fantasy I want to do, but some women don't like that. You see what I'm saying? So ask these questions, man. You ain't got to do it all on the first date, but let's just say, I'm going to give you some advice. First date, learn each other's mental and their mindset, your goals, your aspirations, what you're doing to achieve them, the steps you've already taken, where you failed, where you've progressed, stuff like that. Tell them that. Second date, and this is do however you choose. Second date, tell them why you're in the position you're in life. Man, I'm in a one-bedroom apartment because of this. I'm with my mama because of this. I'm with my brother because of this. Or I'm homeless because of this. Whatever your situation is, tell them that. The third time y'all hook up, and you should say this ahead of time. Say, hey, man, this day we're going to talk about, or this time when we meet up, I want to talk about our goals and our aspirations. This time we meet up, I want to talk about our positions in life. And then this time we meet up, I want to talk about sexual positions in life, what I want to do sexually. This time when I meet up, I want to tell you why I have the habits I like. And then, normally when you have a conversation that goes so good, something will pop in your head when you leave that person. Write it down and have a follow-up conversation to what you had before. Be like, hey man, when you said you like men to go down on you, do you like me? Do you like the clip? Do you like me to lick this part? Do you wash yourself? How often do you wash yourself? You see what I'm saying? It could lead to other stuff. So ask these questions, man. Plan it out. Put time into the relationship, man. That's how you relay messages. You know what I'm saying? So put time in it. Ask questions. I'll go down what I said again. When you first meet somebody, if you really think you're going to be feeling them, in your dates, ask questions. What do you want long term? Are you open to change? What are your goals? What are your fantasies? What type of sex do you like? Are you a freak? Why did you break up with your former girlfriends? How many former relationships have you been in? Do you want kids? Are you ready to handle kids? When will you be able to handle kids if you don't want kids? Have you ever been around kids? Stuff like that. These are something you should add. You are such a good big sister. After you go through the question phase, I'm gonna speed it up just a little bit. After you go through the question phase, let's say you pass the question phase, y'all vibing. You got all kinds of like, man, I want to do da. That was a good question. I figured out I want to do this since you asked me that question. I started doing this in my life. Let's just say that y'all are really, that vibe session was vibed out. You really digging it. So since Malcolm's in here right now, I was really digging your tour. I really like what you had to say about the programs you want to do and the direction you're going with your radio station, right? Now it's time for us to put these things into play. So the second phase of the relationship is action. So let's just say you're talking about stuff y'all want to do. And different ways to get to know each other. We can all say, I can tell Malcolm all day, man, I got this show, it's called R.Au.L.I. I want to do this, I want to do that. And I might never call you back to do the damn show. But
it happens all the time.
Yeah. I might call you and leave you text messages for a month straight. Hey, I'm going to come check it out again. Hey, I'm just going over this in my head. Hey, I'm just trying to raise the money. Whatever. Same thing in a relationship. Hey, I'm really digging this combo. Now it's time to get to that second phase. How do you get to know each other? All right. Pick up a new hobby together. Something neither one of y'all know how to do. We're in the technology age. Let's say you pick up a coding class together. You learn how to code. So now you see how this person ascertains information, or how he gets or she gets, how she downloads information. Now you see how they learn. So if you can see that, now you know how to teach them. Do you have the patience to teach them? Are they going to stay dedicated to this coding? Are they going to quit when they get bored? Or are they going to stick through it? Pick a hobby together. Coding, sewing, archery, shooting. Get something neither one of y'all have done and do this together on a regular basis. Learn each other. That's how you learn somebody habits for real. Cooking class. Let's just say you want to have a blockbuster or a Netflix and chill. I said blockbuster. Let's say you want to have a Netflix and chill night. Before you get to the Netflix and chilling, because you didn't already discuss the sex, y'all know the positions y'all like, you know what kind of mood it is, blah, blah, blah. Y'all done got that. Cook a meal together. What you like to eat? What you like to eat? All right, let's make this meal together in the kitchen. You can even make it sexy. You wear some lingerie with an apron, and I wear my boxers with an apron. And we can get in this kitchen and cook whatever we want. Let's eat this meal together, and let's watch this movie. Don't let just the woman cook the meal. Don't let just the man cook the meal. Because then you start the relationship doing things together. Because normally the way you start it is the way it is throughout the whole relationship. And then that's when you have like, man, I wish you would do this. And you like, man, if I say, man, I wish you would cook more. Well, shit, I ain't been cooking the whole relationship. So now you want me to cook more? Understandable. You should still change it. But if you start it off, like our first day, we were both cooking. So then you're going to keep doing that. Cook, clean, and put everything up together as, in the second phase. Start doing stuff together. We all have our days when we clean up the house. Call that person over on the days when you clean up the house. Oh, man, well, I'm cleaning up today. All right, I'll come over there. Hey, Mom. Come over there when you're not doing anything. Okay. Start doing things together, man. Cook, clean, stuff like that. So that's your second phase. Pick up a hobby together. Once you pick up a hobby, do that hobby together and follow it through. You see what I'm saying? Once y'all really figured out, hey, I want to be with you, I'm really digging you, you should do this in between the first and second phase. Write down guidelines to the relationship. Hey, I don't accept no disrespect. I don't like it when people yell at me. They never hit me. Don't ever steal from me. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. And if there go my son. And if you do these things, what are the consequences to where if that happens?
I got a question.
Go ahead.
It's a little off subject, but I meant to ask earlier, but I was distracted over here.
Yeah.
What do you feel about? What do you feel about? Let me put myself on camera. My bad. What do you feel about getting into the dating pool and somebody runs a background check on you? Do you think that's necessary? Do you think that's fair? I've had women run background checks on me. Now, I was already upfront with them, though, so I wasn't ashamed.
Yeah.
It was when I was a kid, I told them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But since we're on writing guidelines, since we're on what we should do or not do in a relationship, that's a question I have for you. Is that fair to the other party?
I think you should tell them if you're going to run a background check on. You should be like, hey, man, I'm running a background check on. It's amazing how much the internet gives you.
That's how much pee is in the water.
Yeah.
They want to know.
That's when they have trust issues. I can't say whether it's fair or not because you're allowing this person into your space and you want to know what's up. You're like, all right, I'm gonna let you in my space. Let me run a background check.
It kind of made me mad
because you told her everything.
Because I had already been up front. I'm not a rapist. I'm not a pedophile, but I used to be a bad kid. So there it is. And you still did a background check. What's up? That's why I was offended.
What did she say when you asked her? Told her how you felt?
Well, I had to make sure you weren't lying to me. I had to make sure you was being forthcoming with me and telling me the truth. I'm like, well, did I give you a reason to think I was a liar? Well, no, but I still had to make sure for my own self. I said, all right.
She has trust issues.
Yeah, that's the only reason. I don't mind you doing it, but
Yeah.
but if you had done it and then came back and asked me, uh, with me not knowing that you had already done it, and I'm telling you the truth, or the way I did it, I was up front from the get go. Hey, because it was like the show is talking about tonight. I was so you don't have to ask so many questions. This is my past. This is everything right here. I lay it all out for you,
Yeah.
and you still did a background check. I feel like she slapped me in the face, but I get it.
I think that's an opportunity to learn somebody. You know what I'm saying? I think that's an opportunity. When she did that, you should, like you said, you had the conversation with her. And how do you get past it? Because when you're in a relationship with somebody, they're gonna do a lot of stuff that you're not gonna always agree with. You know what I'm saying? Stuff ain't always gonna be, great. Not saying it's always gonna be bad, but they're gonna do some things that are gonna be like, man, I ain't really agree with that.
No.
I'm not really messing with that. And so that's an opportunity. But how do you feel about it?
Because when we were friends, I wouldn't say insecure. I was Googling and trying to see what Mr. was up to.
Yeah.
But I feel like it wasn't me trying to. It wasn't like a self-esteem or lack thereof. I was just inquisitive. I was like, so what she was doing? What's Facebook saying? You got a Twitter? Do you got an Instagram?
You didn't find none of that.
I found some other stuff. But
she had trust issues.
I wouldn't say trust issues though, because I don't think at that time I think we were just friends. But I knew you was gonna be my husband, so I was like, look what my husband was doing before we was what. But but then too, I feel like the times that we're in was very much Facebook and Instagram. So you could see, okay, with Facebook, what kind of music they like, what kind of movies they like. When Facebook at that time so I think for me it was an inquisitive thing. I think maybe I'm just curious.
You know what? Now that you say that, I can see how that can feel like an invasion of privacy. Is that how you felt about it? Was it an invasion of your privacy?
No.
Okay.
The way they hit me with it was more of we're getting to know each other, and I am trying to be as transparent as possible, and you're still going the extra mile to do a background check. I can see if I came in a relationship with a bunch of secrets. I'm not telling you nothing. But I was straight up with you and told you everything about. I was a player. I got three women on the side.
Yeah.
I got in trouble as a kid. So if I tell you all that, why do you think I was withholding information?
Gotcha.
So why did you go the extra mile to do a background check? You see what I'm saying?
I think in that case that she might have been inquisitive like her.
Like her?
Yeah, I think she was just like, I just want to know.
Just want to know?
It could have been that.
Okay.
I can see how you could take it like that, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, yo, if I'm telling you this, you got it.
Right.
Yeah. But I think I'm just naturally nosy.
Not nosy.
I'm just naturally curious. I'm not. Would you? I could be a private investigator. Another life, I was a private investigator.
You agree?
That's definitely Lisa. She wanted to be an investigator. That's what she wanted to be, but she's not an investigator because, in case y'all didn't know this, the listening audience didn't know this already. In order to be an investigator, you have to have years of tenure before they allow you to be an investigator. You have to have a beat, get in a car and ride around on it.
Really?
Yeah, right ticket. It's kind of a progression thing.
Well, there goes mine. But if y'all hiring,
yeah, that's why she kind of lost her interest. She wanted to be a private investigator. I mean, not an investigator, but a crime scene investigator.
Okay.
And it's not like you graduate from police academy and they're going to put you right as a investigator, as a crime scene investigator.
Gotcha.
You have to take some steps.
Yeah.
So I think it's seniority. It might be seniority, how long you've been there, and then they'll promote you. Yeah. So that's why she kind of lost her
That's interesting. But yeah, back to your point. Yeah, sometimes people are just inquisitive
Just
and
Okay.
nosy, and then you just got to kind of deal with it. You just got to tell them, hey man, I don't like all that extra stuff. Cause I feel you. I'm like, man,
in the beginning, yeah.
yeah,
I would tell you, you were like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, I went and I found.
yeah.
Okay,
I'm like,
what?
for what? Like, what are we doing here?
And this is something else funny. It's something else funny about Lisa. She denies it, and she will probably deny it until she goes to her grave. But we get the relationship, and I look up, and we have 2,000 mutual friends.
Okay.
So, and if y'all don't know this, listening audience, and y'all don't know this, um, when you, if we have 2,000 mutual friends right now, and I comment on all 2,000 friends, and we're all mutual friends, Facebook is gonna allow you to see that conversation. So I call her out. I'm like, is that why you did it? No. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I just wanted to know your friends. No,
No.
not.
Naturally nosy. That's all it is. It's all
That's-
right. It's
that's
just
all it
naturally
is.
nosy.
And
Yeah.
that's what happens. So Facebook, the algorithm allows you to see all the conversations, because they feel like you're all mutual friends, so you'll all have mutual conversations. So, Malcolm's commenting, it'll show you. Malcolm just commented on in your status.
Yeah.
She sees it.
Yeah.
I'm like, how are you friends with them?
You don't even know them.
You don't even know that, so
Yeah.
I know social media is social media.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're friends or not. I get that, but I just found that odd.
Yeah.
We ain't been together a year, and we got 2,000 mutual friends. So,
You gotta take the good with the bad.
right.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta take the good with the bad. Some women have them traits.
Nathan Richardson is tuned in. He makes his own bacon. Belly of the Beast Bacon is tuned in. He said facts to what I was saying about the mutual conversations. I believe yes. He was talking about, he said facts about the mutual conversations, and you comment, and they put your information in the comments, Nathan. Belly of the Beast Bacon. Everybody give him a follow on
Belly
Instagram.
of the Beast Bacon. My mom likes it.
Oh shit! The bacon is thick and man, it's good. It's the best bacon I've ever had. Belly of the Beast Bacon on Instagram and Facebook. Much love to you, Nathan. Thank you for tuning in. Please share the video. This is the R.Au.L.I show, the rebooting and uniting lost energy show, starring this lovely family here. It's a family-oriented show where they talk about what every Tuesday night.
Rebooting and uniting lost energy. Talking about topics to unite those energies who believe we need to separate, do our own thing. And these are just little small tactics and moves and thought waves that we're pushing out here that can help us do that. And this one just happens to be about relationships and how we can strengthen our relationships. And in order to strengthen something, you got to take the right exercises to get cut in the right ways. Instagram.com, Belly of the Beast Bacon. Got it. Check that out. Belly.of.the.beast.bacon.
I'm pretty sure you could just put it
Oh, I thought you had to put the dots on there.
Belly of the Beast Bacon, and then it'll come up with all the dots.
So you gonna make me look stupid in front of me?
Oh my
Is
god.
that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing? Okay. See what I mean? She's gonna make me look like I'm an idiot. That's fine. So, Belly of the Beast Bacon without the dots, as I'm told. But no, man, you gotta take the good with the bad. If you got a woman that she cut for me. And I've learned that she really do cut for me and she really do love me. So some things she does, even though she makes me look like an idiot on camera,
Oh my
some things
gosh.
she does, I just gotta put up with.
And it goes back to, I always, when I hear people talk like you just did, I always go back to Tyler Perry. If you don't watch a lot of his movies, in at least two movies that I've seen, Taking the Bitter with the Good, or Taking the Bad with the Good,
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Perry says, if you have 80% of what you want, need, and desire in a mate, you're never gonna get 100%.
Yeah.
So you have to try to get that 80% and just go into the relationship knowing that you'll probably never get that other 20% that's missing.
Yeah.
That's what he says, because you'll never get 100% of what you want, need, and desire.
I say that 20% you get is going to have to be worked on and molded.
Molded, yes, sir.
You got to mold it. It's some things, like I say, I'm not no super emotional guy.
Look,
He says, "No, you need to die." See, I'm not stupid. See? Now I just was stupid for saying I was stupid. But if you wouldn't have said that, hey, beautiful girl.
Appreciate you, Nathan.
But you can mold that other 20%
Yes, sir.
into what you need.
Yes,
Like I
sir.
said before, I wasn't super emotional with her. What is this? I wasn't super emotional with her. And I had to learn that she needed that. What do they call this stuff now? Emotion talk?
I don't know.
Your love language?
Your love language.
Love, yeah, your love language. She told me about this book called Love Language. I said, you just want me to, yeah. So her language of love, her love language was holding hands. I guess that's physical touch or whatever.
Right.
So I was a lot what she had. We had all the other stuff in common, but I just had to learn like, hey man, you want me to hold your hand? I gotta hold your hand.
Right.
So yeah, I do believe when you get someone, you're not gonna get the full package all the time.
No.
But use the part of the package you have and then mold the rest. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, on that note, what do you feel about people who get offended when you want to change them? Why don't you love me the way I am? Why are you trying to mold me into something you want me to be? Isn't that what love is?
When people get offended at that means they don't want to change.
Right.
You got to change. When you go in to get a job and your manager pisses you off, you change your attitude because you want that check. We're not gonna be the same person we is on this radio show if we was to go to a 9 to 5. Matter of fact, well, sometimes I am. But for the most part, if we on the street and somebody says something crazy to us, we might haul off and slap.
Right.
But when you're in a professional, let's say you in public, especially nowadays with these phones. If you in a public atmosphere and someone says something crazy, well, what if you're past that molding stage? I'm gonna get to that right quick.
And it's not giving us all of his comments. He also said, how long have y'all been together?
Let me see.
Right before, but what if you're past the molding stage?
After I got rid of my mistress, how long were we?
Oh my God.
Oh, I said it out loud. My bad. I forgot.
Y'all hit the tap. Y'all tap that love and like button about 1 million times. Nathan, share the video and tag other people who are in relationships. And because tonight we're talking about asking the right questions when you get in a relationship. Do you care about credit? Do you care about my mood swings? Do you have a favorite sex position? Do you give a damn about the color of my car or what kind of car I drive or how much money I have? Those pointed questions. Have you ever been in jail before, in trouble? All these pointed questions need to be asked at the beginning of a relationship, not 10 years down the line and you're finding out secrets that they never told you. Not necessarily secrets, but that you're finding out things about your mate that you should have learned 10 years ago.
Exactly.
So that's what we're talking about tonight. Go ahead.
We've been together, what, 7, 8 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, 7, 8 years.
Well, we've been friends. And then, we've known each other for 8 years.
Yeah, we've known each other for 8 years. We were pretty much together when we got together.
I say 8 years because I knew he was my husband.
She knew I knew she was gonna be in my life for a while.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
And she knew I was her husband. And if you're beyond the molding stage, to answer your question, I don't know exactly what happened.
What does that mean? If you're still in a relationship, how are you past the molding stage?
Yeah, I don't think almost a decade shy, and I feel like it's still we're still in the molding phase. We're forever evolving. Like you're not the same person You know, I'm not the same person. We got 2 kids now. Like,
Yeah.
we're not the same people we were when we first met, and so I feel like that's
Goes on my
not.
mind,
But I feel like that's never like a changing. Like that's a forever thing. We're forever mold.
I think if you feel like that person's not changing, you might want to have what the elders would say, a coming to Jesus meeting.
Yeah.
And it takes time, like with both of us. I didn't change overnight, and she don't change overnight. You gotta. I think sometimes we get into a relationship and we don't want to start no trouble, so we don't say nothing.
Go along to get along.
Exactly.
Say that again.
Go along to get along.
Say it one more time.
Get
Make it
along.
3 times.
I'm gonna put myself on the screen
Yourself
this
on
time.
paper.
Go along to get along.
Exactly.
That's what a lot of us do in relationships.
Yeah.
And I'm not the one. I'm not gonna go along to get along.
Exactly.
I'm gonna bring it up. And we're gonna get to this matter at hand. So
I think if we go along to get along, when it's time to change the rides along the way, then we get angry when it doesn't change right away. Because in our bodies, we're so fed up. You know what I'm saying? And so,
Yeah, but
why do people do what? Go along to get along?
yeah, probably. Why do people go along to get along?
Fear. Sometimes you feel like if you say something to this woman or this man, they might leave. Sometimes and this goes both ways, men and women. Sometimes you feel like if I say, hey man, you need to change this, they might be like, well, why do I need to change? Or you've asked that question before and they snapped at you. And they're like, change what? Why do I need to change? So-and-so before me didn't change. And he didn't have, well, so-and-so before me didn't ask me to change. And he didn't have a problem with it. My mama loved me. My daddy loved me. My daddy don't think I need to change. Then that's when you got to kind of be like, hey, number one, I'm not the man before you. I'm the man with you now. Number two, you didn't come out my nutsack. So I'm not your father.
I don't know.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you say what? You know what I'm saying?
Too, I think sometimes it's I don't want no trouble. I know this is gonna lead to an argument, so let me just
Yeah, go along to get along. But you gotta cause trouble sometimes.
Picking your battle.
I think when you're in this is the thing. I gotta be around her all day, every day. I trust her with my life. Right? If you're in a relationship with someone and that's y'all's that's how y'all roll, and you pretty much married or whatever, you like, hey, well, I gotta be around you. You have to get stuff straightened out. Can I cuss?
Yes, sir.
You gotta get shit straightened out. Excuse me, son. You got to. You gotta get it to where it's like you understand, even if they don't give you the answer you like. Even if they don't give you the answer you like, and you got to keep asking, you got to keep, hey, you keep doing this. Why do you keep doing this? I told you I didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? So if you plan on being around that person, you got to have patience. My kids ain't going to listen to me the first time. And a lot of us are still kids. What do you say? I like the freestyle questions. What if you're both changing but in the opposite directions, but love is still there?
You're supposed to be growing together, first of all.
She's okay.
Right?
You can grow together and still be opposite. I got a friend whose mom is Christian and dad is Muslim. And they go to church on Sundays. Sometimes they go to the mosque on Sundays. He's not religious at all, but he uses both of them. So,
Yeah.
Come here. So, you got to figure out, you got to have that combo. So, let me say this. If one of you guys is maturing and the other one's not trying to mature, I don't like to tell them when to cut their losses, but you might need to change the aspect of your relationship. Oops, go get it.
Change how you view that relationship.
You might not need to be, if, like you said, if we're business oriented men, and the women we with is not trying to build a business, then we might need to be just friends. Because I'm trying to build, I'm going in this direction, I'm adding bricks to my house, And right now, you don't want to do that. Yeah, he's hungry. You don't have the thing. All right, go get it.
He didn't give a sign to me.
He is giving you a sign. He's crying.
No, I meant like his
Look,
signs.
son, eat.
Are you thirsty?
You want to eat? Thirsty?
This is a family-oriented show
Yes.
called the R.Au.L.I Show. It's spelled R.A.U.L.I. On Instagram. Love this family, y'all. They've got their daughter. She's in the other room, and that's their son. This is Inyar Zulu. R.A.U.L.I. It's spelled R.A.U.L.I. It stands for rebooting and uniting lost energy. We're talking today about love and how to relationships, having deliberate relationships. What does that mean, Malcolm? What does that mean in y'all? That means when you get into relationships, before you get in relationships or business ships even, you ask pointed questions to your prospective business partner, your prospective mate that you plan to be intimate with. Ask them the pointed questions that need to be asked at the beginning of the relationship. Don't wait 10 years later to find out that they're a cat burglar or they have some kind of vice that you don't like. Ask those questions at the beginning. Are you an alcoholic? Are you a drug addict? Do you have any drug problems? Any addictions? What's your favorite sex positions? What if I want sex 10 times a day? Are you going to be good with that? Ask them these questions at the beginning. Do you give a damn that I have bad credit? Do you have bad credit? Do you have good credit? Do we both need to fix our credit now? Ask the pointed questions that you really want to know at the beginning of the relationship. Just letting y'all know what the topic is while you were busy with your son.
I appreciate that. Yeah, right on point. But if you're going in the opposite directions, maturity-wise, you might need to change the aspect of that relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like say, hey, I'm trying to build, and right now you're not trying to build, and you might be hindering me. So that's interesting. As I've had this conversation before, can you be in a relationship with someone if you're entrepreneur-minded and they're 9-to-5-minded? I think you can, but I think eventually in that relationship, somebody's gonna have to give something up. So if they're 9-to-5-minded and they're working with you, be like, hey, we're gonna use your 9-to-5 to build this business. So you can make that work. Hey, you like to work? Bet. We'll use your 9-to-5 to create this business. And once this business is created, your new 9-to-5 will be working for me. I'll give you your paycheck. You see what I'm saying? But like I say, discuss that. So I'm taking that you're the entrepreneur because you got this bacon in my mouth to tell me about. I'm gonna have to get some. You got beef bacon, by the way? That's on my head. But anyway, and she feels like, oh, we gotta work a 9-to-5. You guys gotta come to some type of, if you want it to work, a mutual place where it's like, all right, like I said earlier, I'm gonna focus on this business. And I'm gonna bring money in how I'm bringing money in. You know what I'm saying? Because there's been times with her where I'm doing all the work and she's doing her thing, or she's doing work and I'm doing my thing, whatever. But tell her, hey man, this is how we gonna make it. And then tell her, matter of fact, put your entrepreneur to the test. Be like, hey, give me this much time. And don't say give me this much time, we're gonna be millionaires. Say give me this much time to at least show you some progress. And if you see this progress, make my job or make my business, whatever you're entrepreneur, make the bacon your 9-to-5. So give her a check and say, hey, now your new 9-to-5 is selling bacon for me. I'm gonna pay you for it. That's just one way you can make it blend together. If you really love someone, like you say, the love is there, y'all really cut for each other, y'all like being away from each other, and that there's a way that it can work. Don't find a way to separate. Or let me say it like this. Don't find a way to segregate, find a way to integrate. You see what I'm saying? So find a way where it's like, yeah, okay, I dig it. I'm going to give you a 9-to-5 to work at now. Try that. Try that. And it might take a couple times. Explain to her like, hey man, this is what I feel like this is gonna work. This is really working. I just need you to work with me. And I'm sure she's gonna tell you a way, well, I need you to support me doing this in the 9 to 5. Or whatever she needs support in. So like kind of trade knowledge. Use each other's knowledge, man. Understand where she's coming from first. And then she has to understand where you're coming from, and then find a way to meet up and join and make your relationship stronger. But don't find a way to separate if y'all love each other. Because believe it or not, love is rare. Look, and if you're in a relationship like it, from what you type, the energy I'm getting from it, y'all got something strong because you asking questions to stay together. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy to break. Look, it's easy to break this mic. I can throw this mic against the window. I can break the window. I can do all that stuff. But it's going to be hard to put it back together. You know what I'm saying? Especially if she bring, I've had one like that. If she bringing 90K, shoot, tell her to give you 8K. You know what I'm saying? So you can get up to where she getting. But see if y'all can work together, man. If you can't match it right now, eventually I believe like you will. And sacrifice. I don't know how she is, but it sounds like she's, at least the women I've been around, and she knows this already. Some of the women I've been around who make that kind of money, who would bring it in either salary or bringing in 4,000 every week, 2,000, whatever they bring in, are used to a certain lifestyle. So it might not be the money, it might be the lifestyle they're used to. So she might not understand that your way of living is not bad. You might have to get rid of a few things or a few ways of doing things. You might not be able to go out. Happy hour might not be all the time. The vacations might not happen all the time. You know what I'm saying? So you got to figure that stuff out, and each person's going to have to sacrifice. But if you love each other, you're not going to force one to give up their dream. Even ask her if she can say, hey man, take off a few months of work with me, see if you like it. Because I'm sure if you're an entrepreneur, you've had a job. You've worked somewhere, I'm sure. She's an accountant with a bachelor's and a master's degree. Ooh, I wonder if her ego is really bad. I've met a couple that was worked at a law firm. She had money for stupid reasons. You know what I'm saying? They got idiotic bonuses. I didn't even know they gave bonuses like that. I was like, they paid you for what? Oh. So I sell toothpaste and mouthwash. I can't match that. Ever. Yet. You know what I'm saying? If I do, it's going to be a minute. But I'm going to give you something else. See if she can help you with your account and your business. See if she'll take a price cut. Like, hey, man, let me pay you to do my business for me. To keep her around. I'm trying to find ways y'all can stay together, man, because I don't want y'all to separate because of money, something like that. What you gonna say about?
I'd like to help. I'd like to interject something here.
Yeah.
Nathan came back and said, I worked in IT before taking entrepreneurship full time.
Yeah.
Let me say this, Nathan, man. I'm by far a professional when it comes to relationships or an authority, but with my experience in relationships, such as the one you're talking about, and tell me if you agree or disagree with what I'm about to say. Basically, when you get into a relationship and you're an entrepreneur and you have your mate is a 9 to 5. Basically, what the show is saying tonight is, well, what I'm saying is that, like I said earlier, we need to grow together.
Yeah.
As much as possible. And yeah, you can be different. She can be a 9 to 5 here, and you can be an entrepreneur here. But the thing is that, like we were talking about molding earlier, you need to mold. It's two ways. Both of you need to mold each other. Correct me if I'm wrong. Nathan, you need to mold her in the way of, okay, babe, you're a 9 to 5er, I'm an entrepreneur. One day we should neither of us should ever have to work. You're an accountant, CPA, whatever she is, so she's very savvy when it comes to being financially literate, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
So she needs to mold you in that way, so that the money that you do make, you can it's going in the right places. It's being put allocated in the right places, and you need to mold her in the way. Hey, you're very intelligent. I'm trying to get a business going here. Let's, like Inyar said earlier, let's fund this business so that both of us one day don't have to work at all, because our money will be making money for us instead of us working for the money.
I agree with that. And you know what? Sometimes there's a dominant mindset. When you're an entrepreneur, like the name of your bakery, you a beast, man. You got to be a beast with this. Like, and a beast in the wild, in order to become that beast, you got to fight off a lot of stuff. You got to protect yourself from a lot of stuff, bro. You got a woman on your side that you love and she love you. You got to let her know it's the nature of the beast. Look, sweetheart, you're not gonna have the perks that you got at this job. You working in IT, you know this. They pay pretty good. You working in IT and her working as an accountant. But in life, you're gonna have to sacrifice. And I'm sure she doesn't want to work at her 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? But somebody got to sacrifice. And we're not gonna have, I don't care what type of entrepreneur you have, you're not gonna have that safety net for the first few years that you do your entrepreneurship. That's why I said earlier, we could either work together and be a beast together, a whole different type of beast, or you're gonna let this 9 to 5 break us apart. And I'm not telling you to tell her don't do your 9 to 5 no more, but tell her eventually there's not gonna be room for it. Like, honestly, eventually once your bacon is popping off and H-E-B is buying it and Kroger's is buying it and you got private companies buying your bacon and you just popping, you're gonna have to sacrifice. You're not even gonna want to be an accountant once you see this money from the bacon company. See what I'm saying? So you got, shoot, that bacon look good. I don't even like bacon. That bacon look good.
I got you on the screen right now, Nathan.
I lost my track of mind.
I'm about to put your brand
6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Yeah, pop that up on there. Put it on there while I'm talking. Put it on there while I'm talking so people can see it, if you can do that.
Yes, sir. Upcoming right now.
Yeah, I'm about to use that so I can see it.
Nathan, correct us if these are not the right operating hours.
Belly of the beast. And keep doing it, man. Don't let nobody deter you, but figure out a way y'all can come to a mutual ground and work together. Belly of the beast. Go to his Facebook. You're probably gonna buy something off the picture that you see, because that's some nice looking bacon. Look like it's cooked real good and thick. I can make me a BLT right now. But work at it, man, and find solutions that'll bring y'all together. Have those hard conversations. You know what I'm saying? And I know as an accountant, you can work on your own. Maybe show her a way to where it's like, hey, let's get you to be an accountant for yourself, to where you're not directly working with a company, to where the company hires you as a what's the term? Independent. You're an independent contractor. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, I would do that, man, because I never want to break up love. I never say opposite directions to end up meeting up with each other. You know what I'm saying? I might go this way, you go that way, we meet right here. Like, oh snap, we was going to the same place the whole time. You know what I'm saying? But work that together. And I want that to work out. I'm not even gonna say it might, but it is. Because once you show her, I know from her spirit, from your spirit, she gonna learn some things. Because when you make that money on your own, it's a totally different feeling to when someone's giving you a check every week, or when they're giving you bonuses. You know what I'm saying? It's also a different feeling when you don't get, you know what I'm saying, when you lose it or when you're trying to make it. But Do that, man. Yeah, that's for the restaurant. That's for the restaurant. Billy Beast Bacon is separate. Instagram. Okay. So he said that's separate. That's the restaurant. You put the dots in there, like I said earlier. Oh, she not in here. Put the dots in there for his name. Yeah, that's the restaurant. But yeah, work on that. That go for anybody, man. That go for anybody. I know I got about 6 minutes left. The next show on relationships, I'll be talking about more with a father-daughter, mother-son type relationship. On this one, um, is that the brother right there with the dreads?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, man. Y'all are a beautiful couple. Fly jacket, by the way. Y'all are a beautiful couple. How long y'all been together? Can I ask some questions? Is he still on here?
Yes, he's still here. He just answered. I think I'm not even sure yet. See, he was on the show before,
Okay.
right
okay.
here.
Yeah.
I hope that's his woman right there. Otherwise, we probably get him in trouble, huh?
He seems like an honest brother. I'm sure we're not gonna get him in trouble.
All right. That is Nathan Richardson. Y'all give him a follow. He says that is the restaurant. Okay, so y'all go and
Oh yeah, 13 years on and off. That just means y'all figuring things out. Hey, I'm gonna say this, man. Put 13 years on and off. Y'all sit down and figure out if y'all gonna stay, if y'all gonna keep it on. Ask those hard questions. Hey, man, what can we do to make this? What can we do to keep it on? And do we want to keep this going? Sit down, ask some hard questions, man. Sit down, make her a bacon sandwich. You know what I'm saying? Make her a bacon burger. 3 kids. Oh no, y'all can't leave each other. Oh, y'all not leaving. No, Nathan. We will not be separated. Yes. No. 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 We gotta talk, man. We gotta talk, brother. I'm not gonna interfere.
And you know what? I hate to cut you off, but I gotta say this. It goes right along with your topic today.
Yeah.
It goes right along with asking those questions at the beginning. 13 years ago.
Yeah. What happened?
13 years ago, did she know about your bacon company? 13 years ago, did you know about her accounting degree?
Her mindset. Yeah.
Her mindset. You know, that way y'all would be more compatible, more. You see what I'm saying?
True. But I know in 13 years you changed.
Right.
You might have been that IT company and been like, you know what? I don't want this check no more, man. I want to create my own check. Kids will make you change your way of thinking. I know one thing. I don't want my kids depending on me, depending on somebody else to feed them. I got to make a way. So I suggest, Brother Nate, y'all sit down. Remember what it. Yeah, this was a perfect show for me too, man. I'm glad you're here. I like reaching people like this. I like actually helping people if I can be a help. Sit down, and I think you on Instagram. I'll write these questions out so you can send to her. But if you're listening, ask her these questions. Hey, what changed? What changed for us to be on and off? What did I do wrong? I say this in every relationship. I know I got a few minutes. I'm gonna say this right quick. You mind if I go over just about 10 minutes?
Not of mine.
Ask her what changed. Take accountability. I'm not saying that you don't. Ask her, hey man, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? What did I do for us to be on and off? We got 3 kids, so it's no longer about us. We got to be together, or we got to be in cahoots for them.
And we have to build a future for them.
Exactly. We got to have a future for them. What do I need to change? First, what do I need to change? Did I do something? Is there something I did in the past that you don't like? Is there something about me being an entrepreneur that you don't like? Is there something that I need to show you? Blah, blah, blah. Figure out what you need to do. Because we men, we low-key lead this stuff, right? Am I not showing you the right emotions? You know what questions to ask your wife for 13 years. That's your woman, man. I don't care what nobody say. That's your 13 years? Oh, what was that song by Rakim? Ain't no joke? That ain't no joke, man. You know what I'm saying? That ain't no joke. So ask her, hey, what do I need to do? And then tell her to answer those same questions. Hey, now tell her, and don't be angry when you do it. Don't be frustrated. Don't accuse. You know this stuff. Don't be like, man, you know you do this. No. First, ask what you. The song by Michael Jackson. First, ask about that man in the mirror, and then tell her when you asking these questions. The same goes for her. Ask her about that woman in the mirror. From there, y'all got something that you can go off of. It's like, all right. So you feel like this is going to be a safety net or whatever it is. Let me tell you why this idea can work. Whatever. Take those questions and go from there. But let her know that you're not trying to let this go. Let her know you're trying to make it 14 years on, and on. No more. You don't want to turn nothing else off but the light switch to save on a bill. You know what I'm saying? So tell her how you feeling, man. Don't no man get on here and ask questions if you don't love somebody. Show her this transcript of what you did, man. You putting yourself out there. You got your picture on here. People see what you're saying. That within itself take courage, man. That within itself that's a man's man. You know what I'm saying? So ask those questions, man. Sit down. If you can, find someone to watch the kids. Make her a bacon burger, whatever other things you make. And make it man, put on some Coltrane or some Cool in the Gang. You know what I'm saying? Summer Breeze. Some George Benson. Something to set the mood real cool. Some jazz so nobody's attitudes are getting elevated. And even if it takes a couple times, man, to take a couple combos, have them until you can fix it. But let her know, I want us to be on for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? And not just for me, because I love you, but for these kids, because we love them. You know what I'm saying? So do that, man. And then my Instagram is NRZ8556. If you want to, I'm not forcing you, because I'm not going to put this on the show for content. Send me a message. I'll send you my number, and you can let me know how it goes. But shoot.
8586.
Yeah, NRZ 8556.
NRZ?
Yeah, NRZ. Not yet, just Z. NRZ 8556.
56.
Yeah.
All right.
8556. Yeah. Give me a message. Let me know how it goes. I'm not gonna post all this because I can learn from this too. You feel me? We're gonna be learning from each other. That's the only way you grow. But do that. Let me know how it goes and see what happens. But put your foot down. Say, hey, woman, like I do with her, your mama.
What?
You grab her like this, hey, woman. You mine, and you ain't going. I told you mine. She ain't gonna beat me up. Look what she doing right now on camera. She ain't gonna beat me up.
Stop it.
Nathan said, real shit. I was just engaging at first, but y'all starting to talk for real. Y'all started talking for real, for real.
I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. That's my Instagram, man. Hit me up and let me know what happens. But start off with that. Ask them questions. Ask what you need to do. Tell her to answer the same questions. That's your blueprint. And then do it over a nice dinner. Cook, you know what I'm saying? Do all that. Go dancing. Put some music on. Dance with each other. You know, y'all can talk while you cooking. You can talk while you out. Go somewhere where the music's low.
That's something I get in trouble for all the time.
What?
The romance side.
You don't do that a lot, huh?
I don't do it.
I'm a true romancer. Okay?
Oh yeah.
Oh, do not
What?
say that. Don't do that.
No, we're on TV.
Don't do that.
We're on TV, remember?
Don't do that.
Oh, I'm not Roman. So no, I don't romance. But yeah, man, do that. You got me. Perfect. Hit me up. I want to know what happened. And now we can get off. But I'm going to recap. I was talking about relationships, whether it's at the beginning, in the middle. People do change along the way. I've changed. And in a relationship, it's important to grow together. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you got 1, 2, or 3 of these, 4, 5, or 6, whatever. You got. Don't let yourself fall now. You drunk? So I'm just playing with you. She gonna get in the car. But yeah, it's okay to grow, and you gotta have that room for growth. You don't plant a garden, and the garden gotta have room in the soil to grow. So It's okay to grow. You just got to accept that growth and grow with it. So do that. Intimate. Go back and watch the show. I'll have a part 2 or 3 later on. And my son's getting on the table. But Nathan, let me know what happened. Do that. Y'all make each other feel special, man. Sometimes as a man, you got to go a little bit overboard. No, I won't say overboard. You got to put in a little bit more. You know, as a person in a relationship, you got to do that. But in this case, you got to put in a little bit more to keep it together. Let me know what happens. I'll catch y'all next week on the R.Au.L.I Radio Show on Tuesday. Remember, the doula's coming up discussing bringing babies on this earth. She's a postpartum doula. What do you put? What do you put? I didn't see. Appreciate that, man. Shoot. You know what I'm saying?
Share to others who need this information, Nathan.
Yeah, share it to everybody. Like I say, I'm not claiming to be a guru. I learn from everybody, man. I learn from everybody. I just, we've all been through stuff, and I like to see couples, especially our people, stay together, man. Stick it out. Stick it out. And as men, last thing, Mount, as men and women out here, it's our job to push each other to stay together. Sometimes you got people in your life like, man, leave her. 13 years, they find all the stuff to negate the situation, but nothing to push the situation together. So if you got people like that around you, get rid of them, man. You know what you and your lady got. Keep it together, man. And anybody that love y'all is gonna make sure y'all love each other. You know, now y'all done got me started. So anybody that ain't for the camp, kick them out. Go hunting by yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? So he said no guru, but it's good conversation. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed this, man. So yeah, if you got anybody that ain't for y'all, get them out, man. And that's all I gotta say about it. And that goes for anybody. Any brothers and sisters that you, if I'm in a relationship with her and someone telling me, man, she ain't do this for you, I don't know. Good, you don't know, but I do. So excuse my language, leave us the fuck alone. Because while you being indecisive, she gonna have my back. Anybody that love us is gonna have my back. Matter of fact, my partners that I talked to when I met her was telling me to keep her. Say, hey man, she good for you. You in my family was telling me that. Hey man, y'all need to stick together. Y'all need to stick it out. You know what I'm saying? The hotels help. And what? I'm just thinking about that. But
the motels help. He snuck that in. He snuck that in.
So do that, man. If you ain't got nobody that ain't in your corner, you ain't gonna go in a boxing match with your enemy. You gonna go there, someone's gonna tell you how to stick and jab. Like, hey man, hey, he catch you on the right side. Keep your hands up, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? So that's another That's another thing. If you ain't got nobody on your side who's telling you to keep it going, tell them to bounce. Because it's about you and your family, man. You got a family. Above everything else, you got a family. So you got to be that example for your sons or daughters, whatever you have. You got to make sure that next generation, hey, my parents kept it cool for us. My dad did what he had to do. So I'm going to do what I got to do. And that's how you build stronger men. Not strong as you, but stronger than you. Because if they're stronger than you, they can take care of you. I'm going to leave it at that now. Now I'm done. R.Au.L.I Radio Show next week. We're going to get it in next week. And we're going to keep this knowledge pushing. And get in touch with me. My Instagram's on there. And I'll hit you up. Mark, what you want to say, man? Real Talk 100.
Thank y'all for joining the R.Au.L.I Show live on Real Talk 100 Radio. You can catch the R.Au.L.I Show again tomorrow night.
Oh no, we're gonna do next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. Every Tuesday night from 8:30 to 10:30. Every Tuesday night you can catch conversations like this from 8:30 to 10:30. All you got to do is go to our Facebook page at Real Talk 100 Radio or go to our YouTube page at Real Talk 100 Radio and tune in. We do have a call-in number. If you'd like to call in, I'll put it at the bottom of the screen now, but you can call in every week at 832-560-2885. 832-560-2885. 2885 is the call-in number. We didn't get many calls tonight, and I don't think we got any tonight. That's all right. That other week it blew up, didn't it? What did we talk about that week when it blew up?
What we talking about? Juneteenth? Xing out the industry.
Xing out the
It was
industry.
Xing out the industry.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
Their own
indeed.
industry. Yeah.
So every Tuesday night, if you love these conversations, he gets deep in your relationship. He gets deep into societal issues every week on this show. It's called R.A.U.L.I. It's spelled R.A.U.L.I. It stands for Rebooting and Uniting Lost Energies. That's rebooting and uniting lost energies. Tune in and he'll explain what that is. I'll put it up here there it is right there. The R.A.U.L.I Show. Follow R.A.U.L.I Show on Instagram and follow Inyar Zulu on Facebook and Inyar Zulu H6.
NRZ8556 on Instagram and or the R.A.U.L.I Show, R.A.U.L.I Radio on Instagram also.
That's where you follow this man at. Family oriented show. Love it. It's all about rebooting and uniting lost energies. Thank you. Thank you for another great show, and y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the shares. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for all the insight. Thanks for listening and enjoying the Rebooting and Uniting Lost Energy show. We'll see y'all next Tuesday night. Keep it locked to Real Talk 100 Radio the rest of the night. I'm not sure what we're playing now. Let me see what we're playing right now. Right now, we are playing what? We are playing... somebody didn't do their due diligence to put in their metadata, so I don't know what we're playing right now. You know what? I'm going to find out myself by hitting that play button. What are we playing right now? It's not playing. It's not playing. It's not playing. I'm not sure what we're playing right now, but if you go to click the link in our bio to see what we'll be playing the rest of the night. We got something for the young heads and the old heads. We play a lot of Southern soul here, and a lot of independent music artists are played here. And we love music. We love music. If you'd like to send your music in, you're a music artist, or your kinfolk, your mom, your dad, your uncle, your brother, are music artists, all they have to do is send their music in to the following email. The following email is coming right now at Real Talk 100 Radio with 2O's.com. That's Real Talk 100 Radio. Send it in MP3 form only, y'all. Last but not least, we do have an Amazon account. If you would like to, if you have a seller's account on Amazon and you would like to create awareness about the products that are on your Amazon account, hey, we'll promote your products for free on our Amazon account at Real Talk 100 Radio. All you got to do is hit our inbox and we'll add it to our Amazon account and you make more money. That's what we're all about, helping small businesses here at Real Talk 100 Radio. But that's all we got tonight from the R.A.U.L.I Show on Real Talk 100 Radio. We'll see y'all next Tuesday night from 8:30 to 10:30. Good night. Good night. Good night.